they'll play the Astros, the Seattle Mariners, and the Oakland A's,
Angels,
and the Angels. They'll have to play. We'll say 4 series. So 2 there, 2 here, and that kind of gives you an idea of who is actually the best team in the West. Now, once you go outside your division, it's one time at the Yankees and one time they're here. And I don't think it has to be a 3-game series. You can make it a 2-game series.
And another problem is, like, I don't think that the current playoff format is a problem. Like, I think that usually once playoffs start, baseball is pretty interesting.
Okay, I don't like the extra
the wild card.
I think that's just an extra waste of
It's
game.
really just been a way to make the Pittsburgh Pirates cry. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what the game is there for.
Oh, right. Jolly Roger.
Because they're going to have to either play the Cardinals or the Cubs or somebody else who has an ace while they have, like, a really solid 5-game series roster, or,
Right.
Like, they have a great team to play over a stretch of games, but when it comes to, like, playing the one game and you're in, they just get crushed, man. Sorry, Dad.
But, I agree. Like, if we it went so far, and you have to have a 1-game playoff to decide who's the number 1 team representing the West or the East or the Central or whoever. I believe that's what it is. But a wild card playoff game was just 1 game. I just...
So even if it was...
I don't buy it.
Even if it was an 80-game season, would you watch more games?
I think so. Because I think the more games matter. Those games would matter a little bit more.
Brad, what's your take?
I probably would. I mean, 162 is kind of, okay, we'll get them the next day. That's my kind of, view on it. Okay, we lost today. Not quite. Let's go for it the next day.
Look, and we all live in an era where we check our phones for scores. I think it's just like it's replaced watching sports sometimes because really we care about the teams we care about.
Mm-hmm.
We're not necessarily going to stop when there's 162 games. You're not going to stop and take time to sit and enjoy the game because that game probably doesn't matter, and you'll just follow the stats and the scores that matter on your phone.
Right.
So another problem with baseball is the speed of play, people will say.
Yeah, where I was talking about the pitcher stepping off and doing all that.
Yeah.
Walking around.
What do you think a solution would be to speed up the game?
Well, somebody said a 30-second pitch clock, or if you're going to throw at the batter,
30-second shot clock.
So I think you're the one that said that, right?
Yeah, I think in our pre-show meeting.
Even though you don't believe in throwing at players, that would be me.
I don't. But we did have a long debate about the unwritten rules of baseball and how I think that they're totally bogus.
I think David's going to be the guy that charges the home plate and takes it out and chunks it at the umpire.
No. Let's divert just for a quick second.
Okay.
Gavin Mitchell, you guys met Gavin, right? Brad, have you met Gavin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Gavin was an umpire, major league umpire, and I wish I could think of the video, but he had one where an umpire went off on him. I can't remember the name of the coach, but anyway, it's a YouTube video, and the coach goes out and he throws the dirt all over the home plate. And he was part of the Atlanta Braves management, but he also dove behind the pitching mound. And he took the rosin bag and tossed it like a hand grenade, and he left with the two bases. But Gavin was actually the third base umpire on the field, and he goes, "Hey man, go ahead and do something original. We've seen that before." So he just kind of egged it on. So it was actually kind of fun. So
nice.
Gavin being an umpire, you see a little different perspective from the game. Like we were watching one video back in like episode 3 or 2, where some guy, what was the outfielder that pulled out his cell phone?
Oh yeah, I remember. I don't remember who it was, but wasn't he a Ranger or no? He was visiting or
I don't remember what team he played for. But you were like, hey, he's checking his text messages, and Gavin said, oh man, those guys, they're there. He goes, as soon as the game's over, they're out in the club, they're hitting the club, and even professional players. He throws them under the bus. He lets them know. He gave me a different perspective of professional baseball players.
Wasn't it like
especially the Dominican ones?
Dwight Howard or something when he was playing for the Lakers, like tweeted at halftime or something. I think I remember.
Oh, you got a lot of people that tweet during halftime, which is just ridiculous, which you shouldn't be doing anyway.
But again, I don't know if you remember, like, I mean, I guess you wouldn't remember tweeting at halftime, Dave, because we couldn't get one through one show without making at least one age reference. But
we've already made a
if you
couple
got
age
the
references.
horses up to enough speed.
But like texting or something, I remember people doing that at halftime at the games that like in high school. I mean, that's when cell phones were just started to become big. But like people tweeted in class, why wouldn't they tweet between halftime or or text or something? Especially if you're like on the losing side of a game and you didn't care anymore, like you kind of already checked out. Like people were on to whatever's next in their life. So they're just regular people. They're just put on like a much bigger stage.
Right.
It's crazy to think that they wouldn't. I mean, Dwight Howard's probably the same age as me, or close.
Okay.
So it's. I mean, he's probably
Not
actually in
Dwight
his
Howard.
30s.
No,
Yeah, he's
Howard,
older. But I mean, like, there's a lot of NBA players who grew up at the same time period I did who would have like the same.
So do you believe in the pitch clock?
I don't think it would change anything.
No.
I think that most of the pitches happen within that time frame anyway. Dwight Howard's probably 32. That's my guess.
30, December 8th of 1980.
So we're 5 years apart. I mean, he would have been 1 year. Like we would have never been in high school together, but we'd be 1 year off of that.
Okay.
That's like for perspective. I guess he wouldn't have also like grown up in that time, but I don't know. I don't even know if that was a player. But if it was anyone, like, what's the eyebrow kid's name? I don't know.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Davis. We're the same age or close.
Like
Right.
the patented nickname of the Brow.
The brow. I like to think that I would watch more baseball if it was a shorter season, but honestly, I'd still probably just tune in for the playoffs.
Yeah. But, okay, what if they went back to a live ball where you knew that you were going to see 1 or 2 home runs a game? I mean, you knew it was going to happen.
I'll watch the highlight on YouTube or on ESPN. And I think that's part of the problem is all the exciting things, all the great moments in baseball, you don't have to be there or be watching the TV to catch.
Because
you can go back and watch it later.
Because you can go back to the mothership and watch them overplay every highlight of each game.
And you know me, I don't watch what you consider the mothership. I would call that like the step mothership that I avoid.
Well, do you? Okay, I understand where you're coming from there, but when you're flipping through the channel, it's like, oh, hey, it's almost the top of the hour, so it's like their top 10. Do you ever just like tune in for their top 10?
I have almost entirely stopped watching ESPN because I am so tired of hearing stories about what color Tom Brady's pants are and that Tim Tebow, who hasn't played an organized sport in 3 years, is going to try a different one.
He's going to try to be a baseball player.
It's not news to me. It doesn't.
Right.
It's not sports news. It's not some feature story that tells me something interesting about some athlete who's still playing or who still matters at all. Like it's turned into a giant like paparazzi about athletes instead of about actors.
Okay, what if the unwritten rules of throwing at players, spiking players, they didn't have to face a fine? Would that bring you back into the game?
It would for me, just because
I love a good beating every once in a while.
there's an old school. Okay, I'm gonna have a little video game reference here.
Okay.
But old school game called The Bigs. Okay, ring a bell?
Not really, but what system?
I don't remember.
Are you getting it on an Xbox? Are you getting it on a PlayStation? Was it a
maybe-
Nintendo?
Maybe
Was it an Atari?
maybe PS2, Xbox.
Okay.
PlayStation 2, Wii,
Maybe.
Xbox 360.
Okay, so there, pretty much,
Okay.
it was you could hit the home run and then go charge the umpire and fight the umpire. Pretty much.
Okay, I don't believe in fighting the umpire. The umpire, I don't believe in that one. Now, if you want to,
Look, baseball will never be hockey, and I think that the unwritten rules, like, it's one of those things that's like whoever you offended's opinion.
okay,
Because they're unwritten.
Right.
So, like, whatever unwritten rules you believe in and your clubhouse believes in are
Right.
not the same unwritten rules my clubhouse believes in.
okay,
There's no
Very true.
there's no
And there's
standard
also-
for it,
there's
and
also
really it's just a bunch of old veterans who they're no longer as good, and watching these young kids hit home runs off them makes them angry.
and there's also
Get over it.
the stigma of nationality. He's a Dominican, he's American.
And why should that even come into the conversation? He's just a good hitter.
Well, no, that's because I'm saying this because of the unwritten rules of the game. Because
Right.
the unwritten rules of the game in the Dominican could be way different than when you're here in the United States.
Yeah, and I mean, we hashed
And
this out.
Japanese.
I am firmly against what people call the unwritten rules. I just think it's childish or tacky. Like, if you lived your regular life outside of the game of baseball like that, with all these unwritten rules, you'd get beat up a lot.
Well,
You
you see baseball players do get beat up a lot.
Throw at my chin. You see what happens. It just seems really, it's arbitrary.
Okay.
And I think that things that are rules shouldn't be arbitrary.
Well, see, I don't think you should throw it at someone's chin. A good old rib shot. That's
Why?
perfectly.
Because he hit a home run off you and he wanted to celebrate. And like I said before in our previous discussion, name me one other sport where you're going to get punished for celebrating a little bit. Like by another player intentionally. Football, you score a touchdown, you might get a flag for excessive celebration, but you're not going to be headhunted thereafter.
Hockey.
But it's okay to fight in hockey.
Right.
I mean, literally, there is not an unwritten rule. There is a real rule that helps solidify.
5 minutes for
5
fighting.
minutes. You get your 5 minutes and you go home. If there was a get your 5 minutes for charging the mound and let them duke it out till someone drops, cool. But it doesn't work that way. There's no line for it. It's just like this old grumpy player who's no longer that good took offense to you strutting or a bat flip. Like that's the ridiculous one to me. A bat flip.
Well, I do believe if you reduce the season.
Okay.
The way that I suggested, viewership will go up some. So that's what I really believe
that might be the solution, but I do think that baseball's time as America's pastime is over, and football has taken over and dominated it. I mean, I would say that NBA playoffs. I mean, I don't know this for a fact, right? But that if you were to average it out, NBA has better viewership. Probably now.
Agreed.
UFC, even though you have to pay to watch it most of the time, is probably catching up on viewership. I mean, baseball has to figure out some way to stay relevant.
Not here, but anyway.
Not with you?
Not
Is
with
that
me. Not with me.
Well, I think we only have Brad's little special event here left on the plate.
That's right. We're coming up on the final.
And the only thing I can say is, yeah, brother.
You hear the headlines. You know health insurance is a real mess right now. Premiums have skyrocketed, and in most cases, you're stuck with your plan until open enrollment. But there's a government rule that allows you to qualify for lower health insurance rates if your life has changed. That means if you've changed jobs, if you're having a child, if you're getting married, if you're getting divorced, even if you run a small business or you're self-employed, this law may qualify you to get lower health insurance rates. Call the Health Insurance Hotline today. Learn how this 10-minute call can help you get lower health insurance rates. This is a free service to help consumers learn the laws to help them qualify for lower health insurance rates. So call right now to learn more. 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501, 800-926-4501.
Hey folks, Gavin Mitchell here. If you're in the market for a new car or truck, Jerry Chevrolet in Weatherford has been family owned and operated for nearly 50 years, and my family has done business with Jerry for 25 of those. Jerry's proudly built a reputation of working hard to provide their customers with great service and exceptional value. Jerry Chevrolet has hundreds of new trucks in stock, and they are always marked with the absolute lowest price. Come test drive the Chevy Silverado or the Colorado today and get yourself a $25 prepaid Visa gift card for doing it. When you go online at jerrychevytexas.com, Jerry will offer you a $25 prepaid Visa gift card just for stopping in. No purchase necessary. It's as easy as that. If you have a trade-in, Jerry Chevrolet is always looking for quality used cars, and you can go to jerrychevytexas.com today and find out what your vehicle is worth. Find new roads at Jerry Chevrolet in Weatherford and at jerrychevytexas.com. Come out our way and trade your way. Tell them Gavin sent you.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel